voice.
Yeah. This is Yasha Ben Yishrael, aka Terry Whitfield, for the Yasha Ben Yishrael Terry Whitfield podcast show. The place where we prance through the fog just to glance through the smog. The place where we talk about things that people don't like to talk about, and most importantly, things they don't want you to know. Today I have a very special guest with me today. A very kind, nice, intelligent, smart, ingenious brother by the name of Kazael. Is that Kazael Ben Israel or Kazael Ben Yehuda?
Kazael Ben Yehuda.
Kazael Ben Yehuda. This is my brother Kazael. Come speak to the audience, Kazael.
All right, Yash. I hope everybody's doing well. This is my brother Yasha. I know Yash for a long time. Am I being heard well, Yash?
Yes.
My voice coming through clear? Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Okay, yeah, and what I want to say about this brother Yash, for one, solid brother, great brother. You know, I know him for a long time. Solid brother, great-hearted brother, and I'm gonna just say this: I feel the most premier. I feel the most premier scholar in the Hebrew community, in my opinion. You know, I'm talking about a skilled linguist, a skilled historian. You know, just an overall well-versed, historian and scholar. I'm talking about well-versed in the Hebrew, the Arabic, and I'm not even just talking about Hebrew history. He's well-versed in all history, you know. So, Yash is, it's the real deal. It's the real deal. As a brother and as a scholar and as a linguist, he's on point. So I learned a lot. I actually learned, this is who I actually got my introduction into learning the Hebrew language from. Brother Yash taught me well. And, I took it to the next level. So, but yeah, I got my start with Brother Yash. Again, I'm going to emphasize it. Not one of the most, I feel the most premier scholar in the Hebrew community, in my opinion.
That's what's up.
I don't see anybody that's messing with him, to be honest with you.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Hey, man, give your brothers their flowers while they living, man. You know what I'm saying? So they can be more encouraged and bless the world like the Most High provided. But today, man, I wanted you to do this show with me today because earlier today, you may know and you may not know that we had a conversation today that inspired part one of this here particular podcast, okay? And it's called Mashal, okay? And what the Mashal is, simply put, is, you know how in your Bible you have the book of Proverbs? Well, the book of Proverbs, translated from Hebrew, is Mashal. And a proverb is one of the meanings. It's Mashali, okay? But the root word is Mashal. And the root word itself means to rule, to dominate, to govern. It means maxims, which are rules and laws and statutes, wise sayings. It means sagas. It means myths. It means legends. It means poems. It means wise sayings, which is sagas. Okay? Riddles. All allegories. All of these words are the definition of Mashal. And what prompted me to do these episodes was that there are many people that like to run to Bible believers, okay, and tell them that their stories are not real, okay? They like to tell them that their stories are myths, And what people don't understand about myths and what myths are, You know, myths are very powerful. And
Absolutely.
when you look at myths, legends, maxims, sagas, riddles, and even poems, these are written words that were passed down through the ages.
Absolutely.
Okay? And my contention is that myths, properly understood, are more powerful than actual documented history.
Absolutely, I agree.
You know, a myth holds more power than actual history.
Absolutely.
Okay? I'll give you an example of a mashal. Okay? A mashal is like, one example is like, don't you know when you have a son, right? And the book of Proverbs even exemplifies this. When you have a son, and you're raising your son, and you're giving your son wise words of wisdom,
Right.
that's a mashal. Your words are more powerful than the events in your life where you learned these words from. Because the event in which you learned these words from is only your experience. As you spread your experience, your wise words, then your words can live within other beings. You understand what I'm saying? I'll give you an example. If I was living with a woman, right, and I moved in her house, and we stayed together, and for whatever reason down the line, she get tired of me and put me out, right?
Right.
And I tell my son, don't ever move in with a woman. You go and get your apartment. I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you get your apartment. I'm going to help you get your car. And you move in with a woman. Don't ever let her, you let a woman move in with you. You don't never move in with a woman. Because when you move in with a woman, you give her the power, the mashal. You give her the dominance over your life. And she can throw you completely out because she has the power over your life.
Absolutely.
See, that is a mashal. It's a saga. You understand what I'm saying? It's a wise saying. It's a saying that was passed down from me to my son based off of my experience. Now, which one is more important to my son? That I got put out of a woman's house, or that I was able to experience it and to protect him from it?
The experience.
The experience, the mashal, the myth, the story that has been, the legend, the story that has been passed down. I ask a person, which one is more important? That you looking at a dead Pharaoh, or the saga, the myth, and the recorded legends upon this Pharaoh in the hieroglyphs? Which one is more important?
The legend, because it's wisdom and to be, it's a lesson to be learned.
What can you extract by looking at a dead body?
Absolutely nothing.
You can't. The only thing that you can extract is that this man lived. That's it. Just because there is a saga attributed to this man, that doesn't mean that that saga is 100% correct.
Exactly.
You know that every time somebody write a book or a story about someone, that it is fancified. You know, it is told in such a way, you know, to fancify the hero or the main character.
Yep.
You know, we can look at the Jesus story. You know, there's a story where Jesus came in through the gates on the Passover. One story said he came in on a donkey. Another story said he came in on 2 donkeys. Now, both of them can't be correct, right?
Right.
But it's irrelevant. What's relevant is the moral of the whole story.
Absolutely. Because we'll never know the exact details.
Yeah. And the moral of the stories, of both of those stories, are the same. The details may be different, but the moral of the story is the same. We have 2 separate contrasting stories as far as the details, but the moral is still the same. And I ask people, when you read a book, when you go to colleges, when you go to universities, when you learn how to read, you learn to read in context, and the most important thing out of reading any story is that you get the moral of the story.
Absolutely.
You know, another example, we talked about earlier the Adam and Eve story. It doesn't matter whether the Adam and Eve story existed, whether Adam and Eve existed or was living beings or not. And one thing for certain is that we will never know. And when by us being in a position that we will never know, you can't say whether Adam existed or not.
Exactly.
Okay? Because we will never know. But what we can do is extract the moral from the story. Now, the moral I extract from the Adam and Eve story, others may extract another moral. But when I look at the Adam and Eve story, what I have extracted from that, the morals that I have extracted from that, was so that we could understand the basics of male and female nature. Okay? And whether Adam and Eve existed or not, there is no other story on the face of the earth that clarifies and pinpoints male and female nature and as old as the story like the Adam and Eve story.
Exactly.
You know, you look at Adam. Adam is the man. He walked and talked with God. He's objective. You know, then you got Eve, who walked and talked with the serpent, who is subjective. You understand? And we can see that exemplified that when Satan told Eve, or God told Adam, the day you eat of this tree, you shall surely die. Okay? Satan told Eve the same thing, and he told her, you're not going to die with the day you eat this tree. Eve took that as subjective, meaning that this very day that we eat from this tree, I'm not going to die. The problem with that is that the Hebrew word yom, it means day, and it also means time, So it's saying, so you could take that, Eve took that subjective as the day you eat it, you'll die. But Adam understood it as the time. Once you eat this, you will start dying. And the truth of the matter is that they begin to start dying. You know what I'm saying? They didn't die that day, but at once, the moment, the time they ate from that tree, they immediately began the death process. Subjective thinking, you would think that means the very day you eat it. Objectively, you would think that it as the moment, the time that you eat of this, you will start to die. You see what I'm saying? So you can see the male and the female nature. there. You know what I'm saying? You know, look at the creators. God told Adam to name everything on the earth, you know, and to maintain this earth. And when you look at it, everything on this earth was built and created by a man.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying? Everything was named by a man. How do I know this? Because every dictionary was written by a man. I've never seen a woman write a dictionary.
Neither have I. Webster's, you know.
Noah, Miriam was women. And
Exactly.
the dictionary is what defines things. It defines words. It defines everything. Animal, people, places, and things. And these were done by men. So you can still see the pattern of the male and female dynamics wholeheartedly. Okay? In the book of Genesis. I'll give you one more prime example and I'll let you take the floor. Another good example is, let's say for instance, Adam walked with God. Adam talked with God. Separate from Eve. Eve walked with Satan. Eve talked with Satan. All separate from Adam. Okay? Now, God said that when you deal with divorces, women don't have the right to leave a man. Unless a man is not providing food, clothing, shelter, and conjugal needs, she has no right to leave that man.
Absolutely.
And if she left him, she was doing an act of unholiness. Okay? But when you look at the divorce rate, of 100% of the divorces filed in the United States of America, from 70 to 80% of these divorces are filed by women. Now, is that walking and talking with Satan or walking and talking with God?
That's definitely walking and talking with Satan.
Yeah, based on the moral of the story. Okay?
Absolutely.
God and Adam did not have a conversation
Right.
while he was with Eve. God talked to Adam before Eve was created, right?
Absolutely.
While Eve was there, God didn't intervene with that, right? It was just Adam and his Eve and God's law.
Yep.
Okay? Eve, on the other hand, was with Adam, right?
Yep.
Eve was with Adam, but yet and still, while she was with Adam, she was walking and talking with the devil.
Yep.
When you look at the majority of women, whether they are in a relationship, boyfriend, girlfriend, friends with benefits, even married, okay, these women be in relationship with their men, but they be walking, talking with the devil because they have 2, 3, or more men in their phones that they know want to sleep with them.
Yep. Absolutely.
And these women could be married, man. You hear what I'm saying? And then if caught or confronted about it, now they singing the Biz Markie. Oh, baby, and you say she just a friend. You know what I'm saying? So we can see that whether Adam and Eve was fake or not, we still see this crafted story that has made its way into the fabric of the society, or of the several societies all across this world.
Absolutely.
You know, I talked about, in my podcast, I talked about the Cinderellas and your Snow Whites, you know, and how all of these myths and stories are fed to little girls and children so that when they get older, this stuff become ingrained in them, and these mythological ideas manifest itself within the society.
Yep.
So what do you say, man?
I agree 100% wholeheartedly. Like we look at, like when we talk about, basically the spirit of the stories. Like I say, it doesn't matter if they're literal or not. What we want to get is the spirit. The moral of the story, because that's what we can apply. Because like you said, what good, and it makes sense. What good is a dead Pharaoh? What good does that do us? Nothing. We need to learn to get the jewels and the wisdom and the knowledge and the lesson from the experience. That's where the wisdom comes in. So I agree 100%.
Yeah.
And I agree 100% with on the last thing you just said. And I look at, the spirit of the society now. We got people like Takeshi 569 and other rappers, man. You know what I'm saying? I look at this generation, and I think it's weak, man, because, back in the day, Takeshi 69 would have got laughed out of the, we wouldn't have tolerated that, man. He got multicolored hair, tattoos on his face, so and again, the spirit of that is, it's just affecting the minds of our youth, man.
Yeah. See, one of the biggest problems, one of the biggest lies ever told, one of the biggest tricks ever told was said to be that that the devil didn't exist. That was the biggest trick ever pulled. But I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that wholeheartedly. I agree that the biggest trick that the devil has ever pulled was tricking you that God didn't exist.
Absolutely.
And that's the world that we're living in today. We can see the effects and the manifestation and the effects of Satan every day.
Absolutely.
And these same Satans and devils and demons, which are all human, will come to you and tell you that God ain't real. Your belief is a myth. Your belief is fake. When you read about Moses giving the law on the 10 Commandments, and he commanded the children of Israel, don't lie, don't steal, don't commit adultery, would not the moral of the story to be don't lie, don't steal, don't commit adultery?
Absolutely.
It ain't important whether a man 2,000 years ago lived or not. Let's say he did live and we have his dead body. What freaking good is his dead body to us in contrast to his saga? In contrast to his legend, his myth, his mashal?
Exactly. Point well taken. And I think we need to, and that's a great point, because I think that's more so what we need to focus on, like say the mashal, the wisdom and the knowledge that's given in the stories, and more so focus on that, and apply that to our lives, instead of, arguing about, who was real and what, like you say, it's the lesson.
Yeah.
The moral.
Think about David and Goliath. You got this little old man. You know what I'm saying? And you got this big brute. Big, huge, 9-foot brute. Establishing dominance. Imagine a big old 8-9-foot man coming up your block. All you Mickey Fickies out there, I'm better than all y'all. If any one of y'all don't like it, bring your A out here and come fight me right now. Other than that, I'm the baddest MF in the land and I'm ruling town. Now you got that big old 9-foot man right there. You know that when you look at this story, you know that the average person ain't 9 feet, so you know that the average person's scared of them, right?
Absolutely.
So you got this little old man who said, I got the Lord with me, I'll take him. And he grabbed his slingshot, and they went through whatever, they thing, whatever. And basically, this little old man with a big old heart took that slingshot and slew that big old man, killed him. We talking about a grunt, the smallest guy at the camp.
Yep.
Now, I want to talk about a story in the art of war, okay? In the art of war, it talks about something to the effect that with your enemy, if you fight an enemy that is bigger than you, you know what I'm saying, that you have to cut him down to size.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? You have to cut him down to size. You see, pretty much. And that bigness that he have over you is really nothing but an image. So if you destroy the image, you can destroy the enemy. Now, is that not the same moral that's given in the David and Goliath story?
Absolutely.
Any problem that is bigger than you with the Lord, you can have the victory.
Absolutely.
Now, is that not the moral of the story?
Most definitely.
The hell with whether, I mean, if you found a big old, if the archaeologists happen to find Goliath's helmet, so what whether he was real or not?
Exactly.
That ain't nothing in that helmet that can help me in my everyday life, but that story could.
Exactly.
You know, that story could teach me how to tackle my fears, man.
Yeah.
You know, the problems and issues that are bigger than me, that if the Lord is with me, then I can have the victory.
Absolutely.
Now, is that not a real and good moral to have, bro?
Absolutely.
The problem with Tekashi 6ix9ine and all of these young guys is that they don't have no morals.
Exactly.
Why? Because they ain't been reading the stories. They ain't got no mashalim. They ain't got no big homies to pass these words of wisdom down to them.
Exactly. Exactly.
When you teaching your son the birds and the bees, you're giving your son the mashal. You're giving him the rules, man. You're giving him the sagas, man.
Exactly.
What you telling your son ain't real. It ain't real in his life. Ain't no woman threw him out thanks to you and your mashal.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, man. You know, we pushing
the
that.
wise man, even in the Proverbs, they talk about how the wise man spoke in riddles, you know, and we know the riddles weren't literal, but it was on they were spoken again for you to get the mashah, you know, the moral of it.
Yeah, it's like a parable or an allegory.
Absolutely.
You know, when we go outside and we say it's raining cats and dogs, we speaking in mashal. Wise sayings and in riddles. For surely cats and dogs is not coming out of the damn sky, man.
Exactly.
We're saying, you know, that it's raining hard.
Absolutely.
You know, it's raining super duper duper hard.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was the scope of my earlier program, and I just had to have you in on here as an icing to the cake, man, because it was your conversation that inspired this. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely, and this is excellent. This is excellent information. This is everybody need to hear this because this is excellent. This need to go out to the community. As a matter of fact, when we get done with this, you need to, man. I'm not connected to you, man. You got to send me this because I got to put. This is excellent. This is excellent. This need to be put out for everybody to hear.
Yes, it's part one and part two. Part one is already made and is up, and part two will go up probably either later on tonight or tomorrow.
Okay.
You know, I can send you a demo of the show, or I can send you the official show. I think you would much rather have it finished. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Because there's nothing that we could really do, you know, with an unfinished product. You understand what I'm saying? You can't share it like you want to the demo. But if you once I've uploaded to YouTube and published it, then you can share it on any platform because of the way that it's set up. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Plus, for every view, we get credits.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's one of those type of things, man. But yeah, my people, man, are destroyed for their lack of knowledge. And another scripture says, "My people are perished for their lack of knowledge." And it's this atheism thing. You know, I've always lived in a day where I felt like the majority of the people here in America really didn't believe and confide and trust in God. You know, but today I'm living in a day where where I'm seeing people that literally hate God, that hate the Bible. You understand what I'm saying? And they hate the people of God. And all of these people that do that are people with a very subjective and ignorant understanding of the Bible. And what I mean by that, I'm saying that people who read the Bible and come up with their own interpretations based on their own feelings and or experiences.
Right.
That's not a way to interpret a universal book.
Exactly.
You know, you gotta interpret the Bible on an objective level, and the most objective understanding you can possibly get is that this book was written to, for, and by Hebrews. So, in order to get a great understanding of it, you gotta understand the history, the nature, the language, and the culture of the Israelites, or surely you'll be reading this book out of context.
Agreed.
You know, yeah, man, but yeah, that's the biggest problem. So they read the book out of context, you know, like say for instance on the rape doctrine, you know, these guys will come up with look in their English Bible, see the word rape there. Oh, God condones rape.
It's the most ridiculous.
Uh-huh.
The most ridiculous doctrine I ever heard, man.
Yeah, that stuff started with GMS, I think.
Yeah, man, those cats is out of their goddamn mind.
Yeah, and the atheists like Sonetta heard it from GMS and Polite and all of those rapists and molesters over there, and the Pa with her old skank hoe ass, slut butt. You know, they out there promoting God. The God of the Bible promotes rape. And the sad, the ridiculous part about this is everybody that comes out and say this crap in public, all are involved in sexual deviancy and sexual duplicity.
Exactly, and they want to justify it.
And they want to justify it, yes. And it's really pointless because you don't even believe in God. So why are you setting up the Hebrew God to justify your bull crap when you don't even believe him in the first place?
Exactly, and you know what baffles me about this? You got brothers coming together agreeing on this, man. You know, GMS, they got pretty big camps, man. You got brothers coming together agreeing on it. That just show you the level of, you know, I mean, the spirit of these brothers, man. They just come together and just agree that, oh, we can rape a woman.
Yeah.
That ain't the lowest of nature. I just don't know, man.
Yeah, they got. I'm not GMS, man. Excuse me. I watch GMS, man. And GMS, they'll mess around and see a white guy and a white woman walking together or something. If the white woman look good or something, these niggas say, oh, we gonna kill you, we gonna take you off into slavery, and we gonna rape your wife. I done heard these guys say stuff like, oh, I can't wait till that day come, because when that day come, I'm going to take you and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. I'm like, wow. But all of this is based off of literature read out of context.
Exactly.
You know, literature, what they're doing is reading an old, ancient Afro-Asiatic text through modern Anglo-English eyes.
Exactly, and you know what? And that's why I say, when I say about you, you are one of the most. I think you are the most premier because you break it down from the original language in its pure understanding, its pure form. You know.
Yes.
That's the way you understand it.
Now, every time I've seen the word rape in the scriptures, you know, in your English scriptures, when I go back to the Hebrew text, it's a totally different Hebrew word for every time damn near that the word is put there, you know. So depending on the text that you use is what I would have to expound upon to show them where they're incorrect when they properly read it in context. You know, like the one scripture to talk about, you know, what was it, Deuteronomy, the Deuteronomy text, where it talk about if a woman is in the city or in the field or whatever, and a man rapes her, you know, and if she cries out, then he'll be stoned. If she don't cry out, they both will be stoned, you know. But the Hebrew text says that it didn't say that if a man rapes a woman. It says that if a man seduces a woman.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Because, or if he seduce her and lay with her. You see, because seduction is to mislead. And basically, if he saw a young lady in the city, you know, in the field, she wasn't, you know, married or espoused to nobody. And then how do you seduce her? You come on to her, you get to lying to her. Hey, shit, you can just give me some now. You know, we gonna get married, baby. I promise I'm gonna marry you, or this, that, and la, 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 la. You know, telling her a whole bunch of sweet nothings.
Right.
You know, and then he have sex with her. He takes her virginity. You know, he takes her virginity, and then he don't be with her. That man raped that woman because he raped her of her virginity. Her virginity belongs to her husband. And if you are not going to be her husband, then you seduced her. You raped her.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's the pure understanding of that.
Yeah. You know, and that's the biggest problem with these people. You know, they read the Bible to deduce the Bible, to make it a whole bunch of nothing. You know,
absolutely.
And like I said, the same people that's pushing this God support rape doctrine is look at Sinetta. Sinetta pushes it. Napa pushes it. Napa is a YouTube floozy who calling herself Sinetta's second wife, where Sinetta's first wife is not playing as a polygamy game.
So you telling me Sinetta pushing this doctrine out?
Yeah, he in the pot. Yeah, he pushing that doctrine, and he and the pot are sexually deviant because they are committing adultery.
Wow.
You see, they're committing adultery. You know what I'm saying? Because this country does not allow polygamy. That's number one. And number two, in order for you to accept another wife, she must be accepted first by your first wife, right? And Sarnetta's first wife ain't having that shit. She's very unhappy and miserable about it.
Right.
So Sarnetta is an adulteress, and Napa is an adulteress. Sarnetta, not Sarnetta, Polite. He gets on here talking that God promote rape, and right now, in what's the date? The 10th. In 5 days, he will be standing before a judge because he molested and raped his fake, phony wife, which is nothing other than a floozy. You know what I'm saying? One of his hoes that he called his wife. He called it polygamy. I call it polyhorgamy. You call it many wives. I call it many hoes. You know what I'm saying? One of his hoes, because they not fit to be wives to begin with. You know, these I mean, it's just crazy, man. You know, he molests his wives or his girlfriends or a woman that he's sleeping with daughter. But Leviticus 18:17 says that you don't sleep with a woman and her daughter. And the reason that you do this because you either ignorant or disrespectful of the text. You know, any one of those guys that's on there that's pushing the rape doctrine, every one of them are involved in some form of sexual duplicity, bro. Every one of them. And what they're doing is using the Bible to justify their wickedness. You know. Yeah, so I felt the need to do this podcast, man, you know, to clarify a few things. You know, these people will be quick to run up to you to tell you that your MILFs ain't shit, when actually your MILFs is the most powerful thing in the land.
Absolutely.
I'm here to tell you right now that your MILFs and your most deeply, sincerely held beliefs about these MILFs have made people conscientious objectors in wars where the American government had mandated the firstborn to sign up for the civil services, the draft, so that all firstborn sons, if a war break out, he is to go to war. It is your belief in these maxims, in these myths, in these legends, your most sincerely held beliefs that has exempted millions of black men from fighting in World War I and World War II. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely, 100%.
Right now, the government is mandating the COVID vaccine. Okay? And the only way that you can be exempted is by your most deeply held, sincere beliefs about the Mashal. Ain't that something? What I'm trying to get people to understand is that ain't nothing in this government goes against the government, but the word of God could.
Absolutely.
And that's whether you call it real or fake or not. So my point is that these myths and these legends are more powerful. I mean, what I'm saying is these people trying to pass this off to you like, oh, that's myth, that's legend, that's bullshit. Okay? When in all actuality, this is the most powerful source in the goddamn land.
Agreed.
And any people that try to take you away from your God, your beliefs, your spirituality, has nothing good for you. Only one objective, and that is to exploit you out your Mickey Ficky mind.
Yeah. I agree, 100%. 100%. This is powerful.
Yeah. You know. So, you know, You got anything you like to say? Cause we about to get ready to wind out in a minute. Sign out. You know, let the people know what you're doing, what you got going on. You know, where they can reach you at. You know, any other thing you like to expound on or based on the subject, you know, and then we're gonna close out.
Okay. Well, yeah, everybody can reach me on Facebook. My Facebook name is Kazael. CHAZAEL. Kazael. You know, what I got going on right now is a human rights project it's getting ready to get off the ground. I got some major people involved. I don't want to say no names right now, but me and Yash gonna be doing some work together in the future. I'll be looking to, help him expand his platform and everything, so that he can get these messages out to a larger crowd, a larger audience. That this information was powerful, and I think it's something that everybody need to hear. You know what I'm saying? Because and I say that because you got different, like you say, you got people, because this and I say it like this because you put it in a perspective to where because you have some people who say, oh, the Bible's not literal, it's not okay. So what if you don't believe it's literal? So what if you don't believe it's real? But look at the moral, look at the wisdom to be gained. And
that's not. The reality of it is not where its intrinsic power lies.
Exactly. It does nothing because, again, like you said, us being here, say we in a room with a dead Pharoah, we don't know nothing about him, nothing about his background. What good does that do us?
Yeah.
So we don't know nothing about him. We don't even know he's a Pharaoh. You know what I'm saying? So
3,000 years later.
Exactly. Say we have no backdrop about him, no historical facts, nothing. What good is it?
Or we may have the writings, but we too ignorant of the language to break it down.
Exactly.
It holds us no purpose.
Exactly. So that's why I think this is a well put together subject and something that everybody, and I think it'll make people in the community, especially in the conscious community, rethink. Because again, we got a lot of people in the conscious community debating whether the Bible is real, whether Egypt is real or whatever. Like you say, it's about the moral and the.
But check this out. The people who sitting up there pushing that your Bible is a myth, is fake. You know what I'm saying? These people, man. I mean, they don't have nothing good in store for you. They doing that to. They're doing that for no other reason but to exploit you.
Absolutely.
They take away your most deeply heartfelt beliefs. What you got left, man?
You got nothing.
Okay, God said, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not rape. And you tell me my God ain't real, so there's no basis for lying being wrong now, right?
Exactly.
There's no basis for rape and stealing being wrong now.
Exactly.
You were here singing Devin, do what the fuck you wanna do. Say what the fuck you wanna say, which is really none other than the Aleister Crowley, William Levy slogan, do as thou wilt.
Absolutely. That's exactly what that is. And you know what? I got to speak on that, y'all, because that's very valid. And that's what, I'm going to just keep it real. That's what you see a lot of in the conscious community, in the black conscious community, man. I see a lot of these brothers just doing whatever they please, man.
Hey, these people tell you God ain't real and then be like young Pharoah, but he high making videos high off mushrooms and shit.
mean, and to me, man, like when we talk about young Pharaoh, what is his objective? What is his aim? What is the aim of his platform? You know, what is he promoting? I still don't understand what his purpose is and what the brother is, what his main objective, what his platform is.
Well, I didn't understand it at first. I understand it now. Now is show the world you're an asshole, that you played them out of their money. You know, you stole the church's money. You know, and you out getting high fucking rats. You know, off of their money, and you getting high off of not drugs that no black person use. You ain't getting high off heroin. You ain't getting high off crack. You ain't smoking weed. I ain't seen you with no liquor bottles. Nigga, you in there just straight mushrooming.
Yeah, I mean, the cat is crazy, man.
That's why, don't no Negroes do that, do they?
I haven't seen it.
The only Negroes that do that is what I find out is those that are in the Kemetic group, bro. Inky said that there's a cult in there. He talked about how Dr. Phil Valentine promote cocaine usage and talk about how heroin and cocaine opens up the third eye, the pineal gland. See, this is what they trying to take. They want to talk about the Kundalini and shit. And the way they talk about it is on some real gay homosexual shit. You know, they're not talking about the Kundalini in ways of higher elevation. They talking about higher elevation. Like going high up in your boom.
Yeah, man. I haven't heard that, but if they promoting it like that, I disagree with that 100%.
Yeah. You know, they'll sit up there publicly talk about how they mentor the children, how they mentor little boys. But if you go look up the etymology of mentor, a mentor was the homosexual elder rearing the young boy off into homosexuality. You see what I'm saying? Mentoring him off into homosexuality. So they can sit up there and use words like that in the public face, telling you that they molesting your kids. You know? Yeah.
Yeah, man. That's what I say, man. It's a lot of, within the black conscious community, man, it's a lot of, which is why I really don't, really associate myself, man. It's a lot of, there's a lot of wickedness going on.
I'm going to tell you, blackness without the concept of God, I don't want nothing to do with it.
Exactly.
I was raised in a society of Negroes that had no concept of God. And they was out selling dope, using dope, robbing, stealing, and killing.
Yep.
I know what black people will do without a concept of God. Especially, you don't have a concept of God and you're not educated. What the hell you think is going to happen, bro?
Ignorance.
That's a mixture of disaster. Yeah. But the show is getting late and I'm getting ready to shut it down. You know what I'm saying? So I can have enough editing room on here.
Okay, yeah, we got to do a part 3. This is powerful.
Okay, we can do a part 3. You know, yeah, we can do a part 3. But that being it, you know, this is Terry Whitfield, a.k.a. Yasha Ben Yishrael, signing out for the Yasha Ben Yishrael Terry Whitfield podcast show. Like, share, last but not least, subscribe. Also, don't forget to comment. If you have any questions or feel led to speak upon this subject, blow out the comment section. That being stated, me and Kazael, we love you all, black people. Be blessed in the name of Yahweh Elohim. Shalom. Shalom.
Shalom.